What if I say that we are all able to feel the feelings? That is, we are capable of both being physical and emotional about being in one emotion. What does it tell us? See, for example, we might feel guilty about getting angry with our child, or feeling tight muscles, sweaty palms just before we want to attend a job interview or write an examination. So, what does it say? That there is a connection between body and emotions. But why does it occur? And if you notice that this is a constant phenomena in us, when there is something which is regularly happening in us, should we not pay attention to it? Should we not try to understand why does it occur? Where does it occur? How does it occur? Is it really telling me something? Is it really helping me out? If it is helping you out, you really need to understand what data does it tell you. How can you leverage that in building effectiveness in your life? If it is not helping us, then we need to understand how do we fix it, or how do we knock it off. In this episode, you will get answers for all those just in a bit. My name is Brunda Kalyan Raman. I am a certified EQ consultant, digital coach, and a freedom enabler. I'm also the founder of EQ-MQ Business Hub for Women Entrepreneurs. This is an initiative where I will be talking about EQ hacks for emotional well-being, because this is an initiative to curb that suicidal thoughts or mental depression in people around us, especially when the life gets tough, when there is situations like this, pandemic events happening outside. How do we balance our emotions? And it is very, very vital to keep it balanced, because only at this time we'll be tested. Once we are able to come out of this, then we can build whatever we want to. We can engage in whatever we want to. But if only you focus and you pay little attention to your own emotion, to your own body. Okay? I welcome you to this series of EQ hacks for your emotional well-being. If you find these things useful, please make sure you share it with your known friends, families, and ensure you commit yourself that you will inspire one person in a day. It could be your own self, it could be your family members, just a stranger who just walks past, or anybody whom you encounter just with a smile, or just a small little compliment, or using golden words, or leaving a comment below in videos like this will definitely inspire us. Okay? Without any further delay, I would also like to recap the previous episodes that we saw, self-awareness being the first step to practice emotional intelligence. And we saw many interesting techniques, hacks to operate in the zone of self-awareness, because we initially started off seeing how emotional fluency is important and what are the tools which will help you get into the language of emotions. Like we saw Plutchik wheel of emotions for naming and labeling your emotions. We saw self-distancing techniques, and we saw the power of acknowledging your emotions. Now, in this episode, you will find another technique called feel the feelings, and we will see what are the benefits for it. Okay? According to noted neurologist, they found out that joy or sorrow can emerge only after your brain registers the physical sensations of your body. Okay, so that's why we often feel emotions in our physical body. Like I said, anxiety before appearing in an examination, or for a job interview, or before meeting the very first date, before meeting your fiancé. If I have to quote my incident, for me, the first date where I have to meet my fiancé, that is my husband, was a screwed up thing. So although I had some heaviness, I was walking lightly, but heaviness in my stomach. But since it got screwed up, I got late and everything got messier. I had mixed emotions. But otherwise, many a times that when I walk to meet my client, some strangers, okay, to crack a deal, or when I walk out to do something which I don't like to do, I immediately feel heaviness in my stomach. Okay, these are few examples, but commonly we will definitely feel physical sensations discreetly happening behind every emotion. Okay, now emotional feelings are associated with bodily sensations like numbness in our limbs with heavy sadness. Okay, increased sensations in the upper limbs with the feeling of anger, sensations around the throat and digestive systems when there is a feeling of disgust. Okay, sensation in the chest and with the feeling of surprise and fear, and enhanced sensations all over the body when you're feeling happy. Because this was a study done. This study is called body mapping, and this was done revealing emotions which are felt in the same way across cultures, across geography. Okay, this was done with 700 individuals from different countries, different cultures background, and what they found out was most of the basic emotions had elevated activity in the upper chest area. Basic emotions like fear, anger, sad, happiness, disgust. Okay, all these things showing that it corresponds with our breathing pattern and heart rate if it is happening in the upper chest area. And all of these emotions produce sensations in the head, it seems. So that means it shows that most emotions produce the facial expressions, and it's reflected as mental reflections. So in the emotions which typically have active responses, right? So there were sensations shown in the upper chest area as upper limbs, which means we are ready to act on it. But when it comes to depressed emotions like sadness, uh, depression basically, had a decreased activity around the limbs. So I believe there is a connection, there is a coincidence that people who are feeling sad and depressed or feeling lack of motivation to do anything, to act on anything, because there is a decreased activity in the limb areas. Okay, happiness was the only one of the few emotions which was felt throughout the body, it seems. And this was one of the reasons that happiness is always accelerating, because it literally lights up the entire body. Let me also share with you key findings about what happens inside our body with basic emotions. Okay, this was done according to traditional Chinese medicines. This research was basically done based on the traditional Chinese medicines. What they found out was heart may be associated with the feelings of joy and excitement. Okay, overexcitement can cause sleep disorders, agitations, and heart palpitations. Anger can cause headaches and hypertension, which can reflect in the stomach area and associated area like spleen. Grief is known to affect lungs. Anxiety is also known to affect lungs along with large intestine. These emotions can cause fatigueness, short of breathness, and can also cause ulceric cells. If there is a fear which is felt too deeply and for a prolonged time, it's going to affect kidneys in a very harmful way. And this explains the urge to urinate when someone is frightened, especially when it happens with kids, right? This is the indication. See, even in our previous episode, we saw that emotions affect our life hugely. It affects our breathing, digestion, immunity, skin, hair, complexion, heart rate, simple things like dark circles, shallow complexion, excessive dryness, acne, excessive oil on your face, dandruff, are all reflections of your emotional wellness. So every disease occurs because there is some intense emotions behind, which is unaddressed. This is what is manifesting in our bodies as disease. So our bodies and emotions have great connections, and it is very vital to study that and make use of it. I'm also going to give you another resource which shows that there is a body disease related to emotions by Louise Hay. According to her, even a mild illness or severe illness can be an indicator of your emotional status. Because in that article, if you see, she would have given a detailed information about each organ and associated emotions along with that. If it is possible, we can work out on that emotion. We can address that emotion through affirmations. Once we correct that emotion as a release of that emotion, or reducing the intensity of that emotions, either of these two ways, we'll be able to immediately correct the bodily sensations. Okay. Now that we understand body and emotions have an effect in our everyday life, in this episode, I'm going to only leave you with the concepts of what is the sensations, what is the emotions, which is giving what kind of sensations in our body, and what does it tell us. In the next episode, I'll be sharing a super tool, super hack to determine the intensity of that feelings, which is going to bring you more awareness to your body. And that tool will also decipher how the feelings, what is the energy level inside one feeling, and also the pleasantness level, the emotional status when you are in that feeling. So in short, that particular tool will tell you how you can reduce the intensity or increase the intensity of that particular emotion, and also will tell you what is the pleasantness level that emotion is going to give you, which is only going to bring you a lot of awareness about your own self, your emotions, and your body. Before I leave you, I would like to emphasize that you need to train yourself to sense your emotions via sensations in your body. When it comes to feelings about feelings, okay, during labeling emotions, I hope you're practicing naming your emotions and labeling your emotions through emotion wheel. If not, you may watch out our previous episodes to understand better. And during the process of labeling your emotions, if you can also watch your bodily sensations. So if you are able to catch yourself feeling bad, ask yourself, how do you feel about that emotion? What does it tell you? I'm sure it will open up different level of dimensions about that emotion and the associated emotions with that. Okay. Until I see you in the next episode, make sure you subscribe to this channel and also start practicing these simple hacks, which is only going to increase your emotional wellness. Thank you, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.